We are back on midday with your weekly installment of News to You, where we look back at what was making headlines 10, 20, 40 years ago. A curfew for teens in the city of Buffalo, free government cheese, and a future NFL star during his high school playing days right here in Western New York. Dave McKinley remembers when those stories and more were all news to you.
10 years ago this week was when we learned restaurateur and philanthropist Russ Salvatore had applied to the town of Amherst for a permit for a unique addition to his Patriots and Heroes Park, a mausoleum.
You're not going to come in and have cocktails or anything in the mausoleum.
I should hope not. No.
No, I mean, it's not going to be a party. I'm not anxious to get out there.
The mausoleum was built, and we're happy to report Russ still hasn't had to use it. That same week, though, another notable was in need of a final resting place when Nobel Peace Prize winner and anti-apartheid activist Nelson Mandela died at the age of 95 this week in 2013. 20 years ago this week.
Mr. Jiggyfly, I have good news.
It was very good news for Western New York when we broke the story that Geico,
the company with the catchy ads, is bringing as many as 2,500 jobs to Western New York.
It was around the same time that we did our first story about an increasingly popular fitness trend, a type of mind-body exercise called Pilates. This week in 2003, 30 years ago this week.
The 1994 Erie County budget was passed. It's the first billion-dollar budget in the county's history.
And back then, if reporters wanted to speak to the county executive about it, all they had to do was go to his house, where Dennis Gorski would welcome you into his living room and answer your questions. You could still find a Salvation Army bell ringer posted outside of AM&A's downtown, not far from the once popular window displays that enchanted Christmas shoppers of yore. Imam Abdul Rashid Mohammed of Buffalo was sworn in as an Army captain, becoming the first Muslim chaplain to serve in the American military. And in East Aurora,
it's all speculation what's going to happen, so time will tell.
As Mattel completed its acquisition of Fisher-Price. Meanwhile, back in Buffalo,
reaction to the new curfew law is mixed. As of January 1st, anyone age 16 or under must be off Buffalo streets by 11 p.m. school nights or 12 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Police can take any youngster violating the law into custody, while parents will be fined from $25 up to $200 each for 4 or more offenses.
Modern-day Common Council President Darius Pridgeon was among those expressing concern over the practicality and fairness of it all as director of the Concerned Citizens Against Violence Coalition.
They are looking that it will decrease crime. I don't think it'll decrease anything. It'll bring up more complaints against the police department.
We checked, by the way, and that curfew is technically still on the books, but practically almost never enforced, as has been the case since it was first signed into law this week in 1993. 40 years ago this week, it was time once again to present the Connolly Cup, emblematic of the best high school football player in Western New York. Take a look at that year's winner as we ask this week's News to You pop quiz, which is, do you know who this is? Who would not only go on to play in the NFL, but also win 3 Super Bowl rings. Remember, this was back when Buffalo was among 6 cities vying to land a Major League Baseball franchise. And while a lot of folks might remember that, fewer might recall that the pitch at the time included a proposal to build a $50 million dome stadium downtown. These were the days of free giveaways of government cheese. Who could forget government cheese?
You gotta take what you can get and be satisfied.
And back then, if you were going to stage a labor strike, well, it just wasn't a strike unless you had a ready supply of wood and a burn barrel. I think it was some kind of rule or something back in the days when it was all news to you.
Was that?
I would love some free cheese, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know who it is?
I know it's on the tip of your tongue, right?
I recognize it's driving me nuts.
All right.
I'm not going to get it.
Here's the answer to this week's News to You pop quiz. 40 years ago this week, Newport's Daryl Johnston won the Connolly Cup as Western New York's finest football player in high school.
That's right.
Johnston, he later started at fullback for the Dallas Cowboys, where he won 3 Super Bowl rings. And after football, he became a color commentator for the NFL and is now president of football operations for the USFL.
Oh, so he's no longer a commentator?
No.
He's got the wildest sport coats and ties. It's one of the things I noticed. He's very fancy with his dress. Daryl, I knew he looked familiar, you know, because I recognize him from his broadcasting.
Right. If he would have been wearing a fancier jacket, then you might have been able to name him.
Yeah, might have been a giveaway. Okay.